Hello everyone and welcome to EverlastCyber. In today's video we'll be going through some practice questions in cryptography, and this is a critical domain in many cybersecurity certifications because it reflects on the importance of protecting data, ensuring secure communication, and verifying the integrity and authenticity of information. Cryptography is the science of protecting information by transforming it into a secure format, ensuring that only the intended recipients can access and understanding the data. Mastering the cryptography domain is essential for anyone pursuing a career in cybersecurity because it will equip you with the knowledge and skills that is needed to protect sensitive information in an increasingly digital world. So without wasting further time, let's dive right into the questions. Question 1. EverlastCyber wants to secure its internal emails. The security team is considering implementing encryption that ensures only the intended recipients can read the messages. Which encryption method should they choose? A. Symmetric encryption. B. Asymmetric encryption. C. Hashing. D. Steganography. Symmetric encryption requires the use of the same key for both encryption and decryption. However, this is not secure for email communication because the sender and the receiver will need to share the keys. Asymmetric encryption uses a public key for encryption and a private key for decryption. That means it uses two different keys, and this makes it ideal for ensuring that only the intended recipients can read the message. Hashing provides data integrity by creating a fixed size hash value that doesn't encrypt the data. Steganography hides data within other files, but it does not directly secure email content. So with respect to the scenario we have in the question asked, the best answer is option B, asymmetric encryption. So it uses two different keys, where one of the keys is a public key used for encryption and the other key is a private key used for decryption. And this makes it ideal because it ensures that only the intended recipients can read the message. Question 2. An organization uses a system where each user has a unique private key stored securely on their device. They want to implement a method that verifies the integrity of documents sent between users without exposing their private keys. Which cryptographic method should they implement? A. Digital signatures. B. Symmetric encryption. C. Hashing. D. SSCP. Digital signatures allows users to sign documents with their private key, and this can be verified by others by using the corresponding public key. Symmetric encryption does not really provide integrity checks or non-repudiation. Hashing verifies data integrity, but it doesn't authenticate the sender. SSCP secures data in transit, but it isn't used specifically for document integrity verification. So for this, we'll be going with option A. The digital signature allows the users to sign the documents with a private key, and this can be verified by others using the public key. So this ensures integrity as well as authenticity. Question 3. You are tasked with securing email communication between employees in your organization. Which of the following best describes an advantage of using asymmetric cryptography for this purpose? A. Asymmetric cryptography does not require key management. B. Asymmetric cryptography is faster than symmetric cryptography for large data sets. C. Asymmetric cryptography uses the same key for encryption and decryption. D. Asymmetric cryptography allows for secure key exchange without a pre-shared key. Going through the options, option A, asymmetric cryptography does not require key management. This is not the correct answer because asymmetric cryptography still requires key management, although it simplifies some aspects by using public and private key pairs. For option B, this is also incorrect because asymmetric cryptography is slower than symmetric cryptography, especially for large data sets. Option C is also incorrect. Asymmetric cryptography uses a pair of keys, which is the public and private key, where one, the public key, is used for encryption and the other key is used for decryption. Option D is the correct answer that we'll be going with, because one of the main advantages of asymmetric cryptography is that it allows secure communication without the need to share a key beforehand. So the public key can be distributed openly, however, the private key is kept secret. Question 4. An organization needs to ensure that its encryption keys are stored and managed securely. They are considering using a hardware-based solution to store the keys. Which solution should they choose? A. Software encryption. B. Hardware security module. C. Key derivation function. D. Trusted platform module. Software encryption relies on software for key management, and this is less secure than the hardware-based solutions. Now, if we read the question again, remember that it expressly states that the organization is considering using a hardware-based solution. So, obviously, option A is out of it. Option B, a hardware security module is a dedicated hardware device that securely generates, stores, and manages encryption keys. Option C, the key derivation function, it strengthens keys but it does not store or manage them. While option D, the trusted platform module, is a hardware-based solution for storing cryptographic keys. However, it is often used for securing local devices. So with respect to the question, we'll be going with option B. The hardware security module is a dedicated hardware device that stores, generates, and manages the encryption keys. Question 5. An organization uses a system where each user has a unique private key stored securely on their device. They want to implement a method that verifies the integrity of the documents sent between users without exposing their private keys. Which cryptographic method should they implement? A. Digital signatures. B. Symmetric encryption. C. Hashing. D. TLS SSL. Digital signatures we've already explained before. It allows users to sign documents with their private keys, and this can be verified by others using the corresponding public key. Symmetric encryption does not really provide integrity checks. Hashing verifies data integrity, but it doesn't authenticate the sender, while TLS SSL secures data in transit, but it is not used for document integrity verification. So for this, we'll be going with option A, digital signature. Question 6. A financial institution needs to securely transmit sensitive customer information over a public network. They require confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity of the data. Which protocol should they implement? A. HTTPS. B. FTP. C. Telnet. D. SMTP. HTTPS uses SSL TLS to encrypt data. FTP transfers files, but it doesn't secure them without additional encryption methods. Telnet provides no encryption whatsoever, so it is vulnerable to eavesdropping, while SMTP is used for email transmission. However, it lacks the inbuilt encryption for secure transmission. So for this, we'll be going with option A, the HTTPS. Since it uses SSL TLS to encrypt the data, this ensures the confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity of the data being transmitted. Question 7. An application requires a fast method to verify that data has not been altered during transmission. The application doesn't need to recover the original data. Which method should be used? A. Symmetric encryption. B. Asymmetric encryption. C. Hashing. D. Public key infrastructure. Symmetric encryption provides confidentiality, however, it is slow and unnecessary if data recovery is not required. Asymmetric encryption offers only confidentiality and integrity, however, it is more complex and slow. Hashing efficiently checks data integrity by generating a unique hash value for the data, while PKI or public key infrastructure manages keys and certificates. However, it is not a direct method for verifying data integrity. So for this, we'll be going with option C, where it checks data integrity by generating a unique hash value for the data, and the application does not need to recover the original data. Question 8. A company is implementing a secure file storage system that uses encryption to protect files. They want to ensure that even if the encryption key is compromised, past encrypted files remain secure. Which concept should they implement? A. Perfect forward secrecy. B. Public key encryption. C. Symmetric encryption. D. Key rotation. For option A, perfect forward secrecy ensures that even if a key is compromised, the past communications will still remain secure because each session has a unique key. Public key encryption ensures that the communication is secure, however, it does not provide forward secrecy. Symmetric encryption uses the same key for both encryption and decryption, so compromising the key will compromise all the data stored on the device. Key rotation regularly changes the encryption keys, but it doesn't protect the past data if a key has been compromised. So for this, we'll be going with option A. Perfect forward secrecy. It ensures that even if a key is compromised, the past communications will remain secure because each session uses a unique key. Question 9. Which term describes the trusted third-party entity that issues digital certificates to validate the ownership of public keys? A. Public key distributor. B. Digital signature authority. C. Key management service. D. Certificate authority. Public key distributor is actually not a correct term. The correct role is that of a certificate authority. Digital signature authority. Now, this term might sound related, however, it is not the correct name for the entity that issues digital certificates. Key management service is a service that manages cryptographic keys, however, it does not issue digital certificates. Certificate authority, on the other hand, is a trusted entity that issues digital certificates. So we'll be going with option D. The certificate authority validates the ownership of public keys, and it also verifies the identity of the certificate requester before issuing a certificate, and thereby it ensures that there is trust in the digital communication. Question 10. A developer needs to store passwords secretly in a database. The system should ensure that even if the database is breached, the passwords are not easily compromised. Which method should be used? A. Symmetric encryption. B. Asymmetric encryption. C. Salting and hashing. D. Base64 encoding. Symmetric encryption encrypts data, but if the key is breached, the passwords can be decrypted. Asymmetric encryption is more complex and unnecessary for password storage. Salting, on the other hand, adds random data to passwords before hashing, and hashing makes it difficult to reverse engineer even if the hash is compromised. Base64 encoding encodes data, however, it does not provide security. So for this, we'll be going with option C, salting and hashing. Question 11. EverlastCyber wants to secure its data with encryption, but it is concerned about the performance impact of encrypting large files. They are considering a method that uses block ciphers. Which method of operation should they use to balance security and performance? A. Electronic codebook. B. Cipher blockchaining. C. Counter mode. D. Galois counter mode. The electronic codebook is insecure because identical plaintext blocks produce identical ciphertext blocks. The cipher blockchaining is secure, however, it can have performance issues due to sequential processing. Counter mode offers strong security and it can be parallelized for better performance. While the Galois counter mode is secure and efficient, however, it is more complex than the other options. So for this, we'll be going with option C, the counter mode or CTR. Question 12. An online banking application needs to protect customer transactions from being altered by an attacker. The application already uses encryption for data in transit. Which additional measure should be implemented? A. Symmetric key encryption. B. Hash-based message authentication code. C. Public key infrastructure. D. Steganography. For this, we'll be going with option B, the hash-based message authentication code. This combines a secret key with a hash function to provide message integrity as well as authenticity. Question 13. A security analyst is reviewing an application that encrypts data using a 56-bit key. The analyst is concerned about the strength of the encryption. Which encryption algorithm is likely being used? A. AES. B. DES. C. RSA. D. Blowfish. AES uses key sizes of 128, 192, or 256 bits. DES uses a 56-bit key. RSA uses key sizes that are from 1024 bits or higher, while Blowfish supports variable key sizes from 32 to 448 bits. So with respect to the scenario here, where the security analyst is reviewing the application that encrypts data using a 56-bit key, we'll be going with option B, DES, because it uses a 56-bit key and this makes it vulnerable to brute force attacks. Question 14. Which method provides more efficient and real-time verification of certificate status for a large e-commerce platform to ensure the validity of SSL/TLS certificates for secure customer transactions? A. Using self-assigned certificates to bypass the need for revocation checks. B. Using certificate revocation lists to check the revocation status of certificates. C. Implementing the online certificate status protocol to verify the revocation status of certificates in real time. D. Relying on periodic manual checks of certificates against a central database. For this, we'll be going with option C. Implementing the online certificate status protocol to verify the revocation status of certificates in real time. This is because CISSP provides a more efficient and real-time method for verifying the revocation status of SSL/TLS certificates. This makes it ideal for a large e-commerce platform where secure customer transactions are critical. Question 15. What encryption technique can be used to secure specific files on a system without restricting access to the entire system, while allowing unencrypted and encrypted files to coexist on the same drive? A. Full disk encryption. B. Volume encryption. C. File level encryption. D. Transport layer security. Full disk encryption encrypts the entire drive and secures all the data on it. However, it will not allow for unencrypted files to coexist with the encrypted ones on the same drive. Volume encryption encrypts entire volumes or partitions and it does not allow for unencrypted files to coexist with encrypted ones within the same volume. File-level encryption, on the other hand, allows for specific files to be encrypted individually, so it allows for encrypted and unencrypted files to coexist on the same drive without restricting access to the entire system. Transport layer security is the protocol that is used to secure data in transit. However, for the scenario here, it does not encrypt files on the system. So we'll be going with option C, file level encryption. It allows specific files to be encrypted individually and thereby allows encrypted and unencrypted files to coexist on the same drive without restricting access to the entire system. Question 16. An organization is setting up a secure communication channel between two offices located in different countries. The communication channel should ensure data confidentiality and integrity during transmission. Which protocol will be the most suitable for this purpose? A. IPsec, B. HTTP, C. FTP, D. Telnet. If we look at the options we have here, we will know that options B, C, and D are not secure. HTTP is not secure and it's used for standard web traffic without encryption. FTP is used for file transfers and it does not provide encryption. And Telnet transmits data in plain text. So the obvious answer here will be option A. IPsec is a suite of protocols that secures Internet Protocol communications by authenticating and encrypting each IP packet, ensuring data confidentiality and integrity. Question 17. An e-commerce platform needs to securely transmit customers' credit card data during online transactions. The security team decides to use an encryption method that allows the server to use the same key for multiple customers, while ensuring the confidentiality of each transaction. Which encryption method is best suited for this purpose? A. Symmetric encryption, B. Asymmetric encryption, C. Hashing, D. Quantum encryption. Symmetric encryption will be the correct answer in this scenario because it uses the same key for both encryption and decryption. If we take a look at this scenario we have, it states that the security team has decided to use an encryption method that will allow the server to use the same key for multiple customers. So once we hear same key, we should just know it's symmetric encryption, which uses the same key for both decryption and encryption. So we're going with option A here. Using symmetric encryption makes it efficient for securing multiple transactions using the same key. Question 18. A government agency requires a method to ensure that documents exchanged between the partners cannot be denied by the sender. This method should also confirm the integrity and origin of the documents. Which cryptographic technique fulfills these requirements? A. Symmetric encryption, B. Digital signatures, C. Public key infrastructure, D. Certificate revocation list. Symmetric encryption provides confidentiality, however, it does not offer non-repudiation or integrity checks. Digital signatures provides non-repudiation because it confirms the sender's identity and it ensures that the document has not been altered. Public key infrastructure supports digital signatures and key management, however, it is not a cryptographic technique. Certificate revocation lists are used to check the revocation status of digital certificates, however, it is not directly involved in non-repudiation or integrity verification. So for this, we'll be going with option B. Digital signatures provide non-repudiation, confirming the sender's identity and ensuring that the document has not been altered. Question 19. A security consultant is tasked with ensuring that sensitive data on a mobile device remains protected, even if the device is lost or stolen. The solution must allow the data to be accessed only by authorized users and should prevent any unauthorized access to the data. Which security measures should the consultant recommend? A. Full disk encryption. B. Biometric authentication. C. Two-factor authentication. D. Virtual private network. Full disk encryption protects all the data on the device, and it ensures that even if the device is lost or stolen, unauthorized users will not be able to access the data without having the encryption key. Biometric authentication provides secure access to the device, however, it does not encrypt the data on the device. Two-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security for accessing accounts, however, it does not encrypt the device data. Virtual private network secures data in transit over a network, however, it does not protect the data that is stored on the device. So, for this, we'll be going with option A, full disk encryption. So it protects all the data on the device, and it ensures that even if the device is lost or stolen, unauthorized users cannot access the data because they don't have the encryption key. Question 20. A multinational corporation needs to secure its confidential documents shared across different geographical locations. The company requires a method that allows documents to be securely shared with specific recipients, ensuring that only the intended recipients can decrypt and access the content. Which method should the corporation use? A. Symmetric key encryption. B. Asymmetric key encryption. C. Hashing. D. Steganography. Symmetric key encryption uses the same key with all recipients. However, it can be challenging and less secure, especially when dealing with multiple parties across different locations. Asymmetric encryption uses a public key to encrypt the documents, and this can be shared openly. However, only the intended recipient that has the corresponding private key will be able to decrypt and access the document. Hashing ensures data integrity, however, it doesn't provide encryption for securing the contents of the documents. Steganography hides information within other data, however, it is not suitable for securing documents that are being shared in a corporate environment. So for this, we'll be going with option B, asymmetric key encryption. It uses a public key to encrypt the documents, and this can be shared openly. However, only the recipient that has the corresponding private key will be able to decrypt and access that document. This brings us to the end of the video for cryptography, and this is a very important domain for cybersecurity certifications like the CISSP, the CEH, the CISSN, and even the CompTIA Security Plus. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and also hit the subscribe button so that you'll be informed when our next informative video drops. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.